Hi, welcome to this week's episode on Dairy TV. In this episode, we are going to be discussing the young stock, the calves. Before we go into the discussions, I remind you to subscribe to this channel so that you get more and more of these videos. Let me tell you one fun fact about young stock. Did you know that the first weeks of the calf after birth, she only operates with one stomach, or rather, they are monogastric. We all know that cows, ruminants, will have 4 stomachs. But a calf, in the first weeks, operates only one stomach, the 4th stomach, the abomasum. It becomes the 80% of the total stomach space, and all the others are inactive. But over time, the space for abomasum shrinks, and the other stomachs become more functional. That's an interesting fact about calves that perhaps you needed to know. Now, as we go into this discussion, we want to start from where the cow is giving birth and how we handle the cow giving birth before we come to the calves themselves when they are finally separated through the process of birth. When that cow has come to the day of calving down, your objective and what the farmer looks forward to is to have first a live calf and 2, a healthy calf. Very important. So to have a good, smooth process of birth that brings forth a calf that is live and healthy. The other thing that the farmer aims for is to have a smooth growth throughout the life of the young stock until they move to other stages where there are bigger cows and lactating and getting into the life of lactations. So it is very important, therefore, that we get it right from the beginning. When the cow is about to give birth, there are some signs that the cow shows, and at that point, we have to have placed the cow in a very good, comfortable calving space with good bedding, without disturbance from the other cows. I have had experiences and stories being told by farmers who've been farming for many years, and they say that if the cow has begun the process of giving birth, maybe it is too late to begin to move that cow around to look for the calving area. So you have to have done it before the calving begins. Otherwise, that movement, the disturbance, the risks of stepping on the wrong place and falling off and so on is very high. So always be careful that if you're moving the cow to the calving area, it is done in good time. It gives the cow a chance to be able to have a smooth birthing process. Another point is, if that cow has a history of difficulty or labored birth, it is always important to call a vet so that the vet is present when that calving is happening. However, if there has not been a history of difficult birth process, then in that case, it's normal that the cow will be able to give birth on her own, and there may not be any complications. So now we are going to assume that this is an easy calving cow, and the calf comes out properly, and now she has landed. What do we do? So the first thing is that in the very first few minutes, the mother is likely to begin to lick the calf and to clean her out so that the mucus on the skin is removed. But it's also okay for the farmer to wipe that off using a clean towel, and also to rub the calf around the skin, just wrapping around the skin, so that when you rub, you are able to stimulate blood circulation for that calf immediately within the first 15 minutes. So it ensures that the calf lands with a lot of strength, there's no slow on the blood circulation, and the calf is also not feeling cold. If you take too long before that substance is wiped off, there are 2 things that are possible. The calf is going to begin to feel cold because of the evaporation that is taking place off the skin. So the calf struggles to keep warm. Then 2, with that mucus substance on the surface of the calf, it's also a possibility that other flies may be attracted by that wetness, and they may come with infections that might affect the calf. And remember that calf, once they have been born, at that moment, they have no guards as far as health is concerned. They are very weak as far as immunity is concerned. So wipe the calf, The mother can also be licking away that substance and then rub on the surface to ensure that the blood circulation starts. And then from there, feed the colostrum. That means then you have to milk the mother within the first 15 minutes. Perhaps that is why it's important to separate the calf from the mother, so that the mother stops being restless about the calf, so that you can be able to milk her in the first 15 minutes. And by the 20th minute, then we are supposed to be feeding the calf with the colostrum. Why is it important to feed the calf with the colostrum? First of all, the colostrum is that milk that a cow produces once she gives birth in the first few days before it normalizes. That milk is very valuable to the cow. In fact, it has 40% more nutrients than the normal milk in terms of protein, in terms of lactose, minerals, antibodies. It has 40% more. So that's a very important part to know, so that you feed within the first 20 minutes to give the calf 3 things. First of all, make her warm. She is able to generate the warmth from her body because she's now fed. And then 2, to also give her immunity from the antibodies coming from the calf, coming from the colostrum. So that is very important. And then the third part is that this colostrum can only be digested in the system, or the digestive system of the calf, within the first hour. As time goes by, then the calf can only take less and less nutrients from the colostrum. So what that means is that you have to feed her with as much as possible colostrum that she can take within the first hour, so that she is able to take advantage of all the nutrition that is found in the colostrum. One mistake that farmers do is to waste time around birth, so that you are focusing on the mother. Maybe there's an issue around there, and then the calf is forgotten. She is not yet fed, an hour goes. That exposes that calf to infections, and a possibility that the first stage of that calf, that is the milk feeding period, is not going to be smooth, because we have denied her the immunity. Remember what I have said, and I repeat, that the antibodies, the strength, that the nutritional strength that is found in the colostrum, the antibodies that give her the immunity, she can only digest them within the first hour, second hour. Up to 6 hours. Beyond that, then she is not able to take them in. The ability of the calf to take them in reduces significantly. So feed her as much as possible within the first hour. But because she is small and her ability to take colostrum is very limited, then we have to be given between 1 and 2 liters for every time we are feeding the colostrum, and then ensure that you give at least 3 to 4 times within that day, so she has more and more colostrum in her body. The intake depends on the size of the calf. For the smaller ones, 1 liter is okay. For the bigger ones, then 2 liters would be fine, or in between. After that point, we can take a break, and then we can continue discussing young stock and the feeding dynamics around the young stock. Join me after the break as we continue discussing young stock.
Hi, do you know how safe your dairy products are? My name is Dr. Kimutai Maritim, Head of Regulatory Services, working at Kenya Dairy Board. At Kenya Dairy Board, we work to ensure that to safeguard the quality and safety of the milk products. Yeah, Kenya Dairy Board is a government institution nowadays. It is a parastatal, which is set up in the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Fisheries, and cooperatives under the State Department of Livestock. And the Dairy Board is mainly set up to regulate the dairy sector and also promote the dairy industry. The reason why we are actually keen in compliance is to bring everybody on the level ground, playing ground in terms of doing business. Secondly, is also for improving the quality of our products and more so safety to the population. We realize that the industry is facing a lot of challenges in terms of adulteration of the products, people coming up with fake products. So compliance will play that role in terms of controlling how these products are being churned out to the market. Also the safety of the products, the way they are being handled, all that is in compliance. So to streamline that, we have really tried to bring on board the genuine players by licensing them through those regulations, by also regulating their processing and even marketing. If anyone wants to start anything in terms of dairy, be it a farmer, be it a processor, transporter, or all that, we have various branches outside there in the country. We also have our offices in Nairobi, which is headquarters in NSSF building. We also have our website, which they can visit to check what is required before you start any dairy business, dairy activity. For more information, visit our website www.kdb.go.ke.
Welcome back. Today we are discussing the young stock right from birth, and I hope you find this one interesting and informative and resourceful. Remember to subscribe to this channel so that you get more and more of these videos. Now, about the colostrum, we have said a few things about it. Keeps the calf warm, keeps the calf hydrated, and keeps the calf immune. So very important that we have got that point within the first hour. Feed her colostrum as much as possible. There's a point there about how do we feed the colostrum. Remember when farmers were allowing calves to suckle their mothers. A calf is born and then she begins to suckle the mother. As the mother licks off the covering substance on the skin, then you can remember that the position of the calf was a raised position and not a drooping position. This means that the mouth of the calf is facing up and the neck is straightened. That is a natural position for taking in colostrum. For the reason, the colostrum should not get into the rumen or the other three stomachs. The colostrum goes straight to the abomasum, which is the fourth stomach, and that is where colostrum is digested. Colostrum cannot be digested in the rumen, and the rumen, which is the first stomach, is underdeveloped at that point. Actually, like I had mentioned earlier, the total stomach space of the calf at that point, 80% of it is that fourth stomach where colostrum is digested. So that is why it is very important that we feed with the mouth looking up. Whether you're going to use a plastic teat, whether you're going to use other methods, ensure that that position is observed so that we are sure of the digestion and the absorption of the very valuable nutrients in the colostrum. By putting her straight up, then the esophageal channel or the groove is able to channel the milk all the way to the final stomach. So that's very important. But then we have talked about the colostrum, we have talked about the calf settling down, we have talked about milking the mother in good time to ensure that she has fed on time. But then we talk about registration. You have received a calf on the farm. This is a new cow. She has to have an entry in your records or in your system, depending on your record management system. You have to weigh the calf. And it's always good to note that we do not weigh the calf using a band. That is for bigger animals, bigger cows that have been able to form the structure to use the band. So in the beginning, you could either use a sack, a bag, gunny bag, or in some cases, there are some nice ways of weighing the calf. You can weigh yourself on the weighing scale, and then you step out and come and weigh yourself together with the calf, and then the difference between the two is the weight of the calf. Then you can record it. But alongside the weight, you also indicate the name of the mother. You also indicate the gender. Is it do you have a bull calf or we have a female calf? Then you also indicate the process of birth. Was she born through a difficult process or was she born easily? Describe the situation around birth. So the birth weight, the date of birth, the gender, the name of the mother, and the description of the birth process. Once you have done that, you have opened a new entry for that calf, and that is going to be followed up to the life of that cow in that farm. Remember that we said during the KPI, which can be emphasized here, that we are going to make that weight entry so that it becomes the baseline for us to be able to measure the weight of that calf and her daily weight gain. One thing that is very important is that you follow the weight measurement so that we have at least 15% of the adult weight or double the birth weight at weaning. That helps us to know when to wean, and also to ensure that we have 60% of the birth weight at the point of insemination. Young stock is a very important subject. The calf today is the cow tomorrow. Calves should not be given the remaining feed from the mothers. Calves should not be brought the bedding that is coming from muddy grasses that have been stepped on in other barns, because they are very vulnerable to diseases. The bedding should be clean. The calf pen should be inspected, disinfected. The navel should be also disinfected at birth before it closes, whether you're going to use iodine, whether you're going to do disinfectant spray, whichever you use, but ensure that you have done all these things before the calf is released into her pen. This brings us to the end of the discussion around young stock or calf rearing. Remember to subscribe to this channel, and see you in the next session.